Hi everybody, welcome to my art gallery in my house. So this is the third series that I'm having, but this is another great one. So I'm still working on the art project with the Black Lives Matter, the coronavirus that entered the world, and I'm collecting all this information. I'm doing a lot of research and I'm putting all this together. So it's about almost finished, but while I'm doing this, I usually just take my bike ride and get my exercise going on, keep myself healthy, well fit, mentally and spiritually, uplifted. So I went on a bike ride a day or two ago, and I went to the Shirley Chisholm Park here in Brooklyn. So I'm taking my bike ride, I'm having a good time. It's early in the morning, not too many people there. Very, very, very good road in the park with your bike. So when I'm about to finish, I said, you know what, let me take a picture of Shirley Chisholm right there in the park. She got her pictures up there, and then it's also got the banner of Shirley Chisholm when you first come. See a couple of young black people over there. They're around 17 or 18, somewhere around there. So I said, can you do me a favor? They said, yeah, sure, what's going on? I said, well, take a picture of me on my bike right next to Shirley Chisholm. They said, fine, good, okay. So after they took the picture, I said, you know about Shirley Chisholm? They said, not really. I said, what? This is a Shirley Chisholm Park, got a picture right there. She got great history. She's before your time, but she was a congresswoman, and she the first black African woman that ran for president. And y'all don't know about that? They said, no. I said, wow, okay, listen, I tell you what you could do. Go on the internet and look her up, because you need that history, especially when you viewing something that you don't even know who it is and what they're about and the history behind that. So to make it better for you to understand that, and it uplifts your spirit as well. So what I'm gonna also do, because I'm a community producer at Brick Arts Media, I'm a professional artist, so I produce shows every Monday and Wednesday, and one I'm gonna be the history of Shirley Chisholm. So that way y'all would understand her history, and the park was named after her. That's why you got Shirley Chisholm Park. I mean, it's gonna be great. So they said, yeah, okay, that'd be good, I said, so that's what I'm doing right now. So for everyone that doesn't know the history, I'm gonna share that with you. First, I wanna take you back to Shirley Chisholm biography about who she is, and then it's going to run right into the park that we are at, or where I was at, with my bicycle ride, and that way you could see the history behind that as well, because it was named right after her. So for the ones that, like I said, for the young people that I ran into, the young people that's around that wasn't here before she even became popular at that time and don't know the history, I want to share that with you now. So listen up and take some notes. Okay, let me start off by saying pioneering African-American politician Shirley Chisholm, 1924 to 2005, began her professional career as a teacher. She served as a director of the Hamilton Madison Child Care Center until the late 1950s. Then as an educational consultant for New York City Bureau of Child Welfare, in 1968, Chisholm became the first African American to earn election to Congress, where she worked on the Education and Labor Committee. In 1972, she made history again by becoming the first black woman of a major party to run for a presidential nomination. After serving 7 terms in the House, Chisholm retired from office to become a teacher and public speaker. Born Shirley, St. Hills on November the 30th, 1924 in New York City, Chisholm spent part of her childhood in Barbados with her grandmother and graduated from Brooklyn College in 1946. She began her career as a teacher and earned a master's degree in elementary education from Columbia University. She served as a director of the Hamilton-Madison Child Care Center from 1953 to 1959 as an educational consultant to New York City Bureau of Child Welfare from 1959 to 1964. In 1969, Chisholm became the first black congresswoman and began the first of 7 terms. After initially being assigned to the House Forestry Committee, she shocked many by demanding reassignment. She was placed on the Veterans Affairs Committee, eventually graduating to the Education and Labor Committee. She became one of the founding members of Congressional Black Caucus in 1969. Chisholm became the first African American woman to make a bid to the President of the United States when she ran for the Democratic nomination in 1972. A champion of minority education and employment opportunity throughout her tenure in Congress, Chisholm was also a vocal opponent of the draft. After leaving Congress in 1983, she taught at Mount Holyoke College and was popular on the lecture circuit. Chisholm was married to Conrad Chisholm from 1949 to 1977. She wed Arthur Harwood Jr. in 1986. She is the author of 2 books, Unbrought and Unbossy, 1970, and The Good Fight, 1973.
I stand before you today as a candidate for the Democratic nomination for the presidency of the United States of America. I am not the candidate of Black America, although I am black and proud. I am not the candidate of the women's movement of this country, although I am a woman, and I'm equally proud of that. I am not the candidate of any political bosses or fat cats or special interests. I stand here now without endorsements from many big-name politicians or celebrities or any other kind of prop. I do not intend to offer to you the tired and glib cliches which for too long have been an accepted part of our political life. I am the candidate of the people of America. I stand before you today as a candidate for the Democratic nomination for the presidency of the United States of America.
When asked how she'd like to be remembered, she had an answer. I'd like them to say that Shirley Chisholm had guts. And I'm proud to say it. Shirley Chisholm had guts. Shirley Chisholm's example transcends her life, and when asked how she'd like to be remembered, she had an answer. I'd like them to say that Shirley Chisholm had guts. And I'm proud to say it. Shirley Chisholm had guts.
Okay, so now we're going to get into the park of Shirley Chisholm. After years of anticipation, Shirley Chisholm State Park is now open 365 days per year, 9 a.m. to dusk. The park offers 10 miles of biking and hiking trail. Please stay on the trail. Gorgeous waterfront, picnicking, environmental education including fishing, guide birds, walks, and nature in your neighborhood. Please help us to take care of this wonderful park and respect the rules. Please place all trash and recycle in the proper container. Please no smoking, please no grilling, no fires. Please leave your dogs and pet at home. Please keep wildlife wild. Do not feed the birds. Pets are not allowed at Shirley Chisholm Park. The mailing address is 950 Fountain Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11239. Now, looking back on Scarlet City with Manhattan in the distance, the community here now has a green park that they can visit, but the capped landfill will also always be here, a permanent impediment to accessing the water. The first session of Shirley Chisholm State Park recently made its official debut on a site that was previously known as the 110 acres Pennsylvania Avenue landfill. Situated on the northern coast of Jamaica Bay in East New York, near Starlight City, this vibrant new green space has opened up the shoreline here for the first time in generations. The word charming and fun don't often come to mind when walking around New York City polluted landfill. Yet somehow a walk through this new park is just that, a surprisingly enjoyable ramble through a delightfully varied landscape of wildflowers, meadow, native grassland, hidden beach, and bustling fishing pier. Butterflies and songbirds fill the air while cooling breeze waft in from Jamaica Bay. Though it has only been open for a week, the park is already a hit with the neighborhood. During its first weekend, the parking lot was filled to capacity and every two-wheeler was checked out of its bike library, which is run by Recycle a Bicycle. Parents pushed baby strollers along meandering gravel hiking trail while fishermen lined the piers along Jamaica Bay happily pulling in dozens of porgies. The second session of this park at the adjoining Fountain Avenue landfill won't be completed until 2021, but for a community that has been cut off from the waterfront for decades, any access to the water is no small thing. I've been waiting for this for 20 to 30 years, said one fisherman as he cast out into the water of the Jamaica Bay. I moved here in 1986 and they were working on then, piece by piece, off and on over the years. For younger residents, the sudden view of the creeks and bay hidden in their backyard was a revelation. Can we go swimming in the lake? Asked a group of young children as they tentatively gazed out into the rippling water of Hendrick Creek, the waterway along the eastern shore of the park. Should we take off our shoes and go in? Asked a teenager as she and her friend contemplated the sandy beach along Fresh Creek on the western shore of the park. Soon enough, they was wagging out into the water. Though it is only partially completed, Shirley Chisholm State Park can already lay claims to the title of New York City's nicest park, built on top of the toxic waste dump. That the title previous belonged to Brookfield Park, which opened in 2017 at the former site of Brookfield landfill in Staten Island. The history of these two pieces of land is intertwined going back to the 70s, when they were both horribly polluted by tons of illegal dumped toxin. During a long remediation process by the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, DEP, both landfills were scrapped and replanted with specifically designed landscape of native species. Okay, so now there we have it. You have the history of Shirley Chisholm State Park, which was an African American black woman that ran for president in the United States. So you have that history, and you have the state park history, and so everyone should be very proud of Shirley Chisholm, even leaving this legacy behind for everyone in the community or all over. So she did a great job there, leaving this for us. So for the black young people that didn't understand the history, you have it now. And you can also go online and look up the same thing. I just gave it back to you. So this way you'll have it and pass it on to other young black people, or when you have kids, you get older, to your children, so that way they know the history, because everybody got history. So now, if there's still some time left, I'll share with you some other art galleries that I'm always filming, or I already filmed in the past. And not only that, I did some interviews with some famous black artists. So if there's time permitted, you will see that as well. But nevertheless, I hope you enjoy my show. I welcome you back again. It comes on every Monday and Wednesday from 1 a.m., 11 p.m., and 4 p.m. on Cablevision 68, Verizon 50, 42, or 43. And if you have any questions or you want some more information, you can always go to my email, which is misaac718@yahoo.com. Or you want to actually personally call me for whatever the reason might be, I'll be happy to take your call as well. And it's at 347-328-2471. So I welcome y'all. I'm happy to give this information out. And please, by all means, continue to be safe, be careful, because we're still into this virus that have not left yet. No matter what we do, it's still here, so you gotta be cautious. Wear your mask, make sure you wash your hands, sanitize 6 feet away, you know, and also with the from the Black Lives Matter march from George Floyd that promoted all of this, change always would come when you put the right people in office. So November is coming up, and that's a big election. So don't forget to vote. Start registering now, young people. That way you know what you got to do. And I'll send all this message to you as well. You'll see all this going to come up as, you know, as we're talking. So again, y'all take care, and I hope you enjoy this information I just gave out. And don't forget, I still got my series coming up with the art project that I'm doing, that I'm putting everything together. So there we have it. Y'all take care, and I'll see y'all again. Bye.
Hello everyone, we're here today at Bailey's Cafe in Bed-Stuy. This is an art show featuring local neighborhood artists from Brooklyn and members of the Fulton Art Fair. Fulton Art Fair has been around for over 60 years in June, and this is one of our bi-month, well, we have exhibits maybe once a month. And this is one of our open call shows. Our open call shows are open to all artists in the neighborhood, and we welcome everyone to come in and hang their work. This first artist's piece is by Louis Mims. He does beautiful abstract pieces. This piece is an untitled piece, but that makes it even more interesting because you make up your own title and you make up your own story. Now we're moving on to another artist who does a lot of work in pencil, pen, and ink by the name of Clarence Moore Jr. These are prints, butterflies, and flowers. He does also a lot of images with sports figures. The next artist is Norma Roman. This piece is in pastel, and it's called The Pirate Lady. You can see she has lovely jewelry from her adventures. Excuse me. This next piece is also by Norma. It's a lovely piece of a woman bathing by a river. This piece is by Wilma Ward. It's called Whatever. And she uses a black tracing method, and it's also a collage. These three images are by artist Valerie Williams, who uses as a tool scanning electron microscope. And these are images of normal everyday objects that have been enlarged over 10,000 times. This first piece is actually a fish scale. So it creates a totally new landscape that we don't see when we look at a normal fish scale. So by blowing these things up, she's finding new realities within them. The next piece is an enlargement of a fly's wing. So you usually think of a fly's wing as something smooth, but here you see it almost has like a hairy texture to it. This is an image of a feather from a pillow that's also blown up very large. And these are all photographs. This image is called Truth, and it's by Gerald Jones. It's an oil on canvas image. And you can see that there's like a spirit here, and seeing the ancestors in the background. This one is called Bahamian, and you can see the lovely flowers, and you feel like you're in the Caribbean. These are my two pieces, Larry Weeks. The first one is called Carousel, and it's a hand-manipulated print. And it's an image from the Prospect Park Carousel. And what I do is try to create 3 dimensions by adding hand manipulation and taking it beyond a two-dimensional frame. This piece is called Flowers No. 1, and photograph is an instance of reality. So by taking the photograph and cutting it up and weaving it, it makes it look almost digital, but it's not a digital image. This image is by Winston Huggins, and it's a multimedia piece. It uses watercolor and pastel to create this landscape scene from Prospect Park. This is a piece by our president of the Fulton Art Fair, Charlotte Key. This is called Street Life. So she uses found images in a lot of her work, but this one is a much more hand-driven, hand-drawn piece. These next three pieces are by Melvin Isaac, who's also our cameraman who's filming this. And this is called Clown, and this is done with watercolor. So it's a very soft and fluid medium. And this piece is called African Rituals. It's done in oil on canvas. And you can see the ancestors and the spirit of our past and the faces of these individuals. And this piece is called Salute. It's a pencil piece, and it's an African warrior, and he's saluting, but he also is saluting and he has a tear in his eye. So he's also saluting, but he's also very, very sad. A piece by one of our founding members, Emmett Wigglesworth, and it's a artist proof. It's a silk screen, and it tells a whole story about life and about flying. In the background, you hear jazz music playing. The groups are provided by the National Jazz Foundation. They're gig fund. So it allows musicians to perform and to earn a little extra money, and we just give them a place to perform and we enjoy the music. So again, this is what Fulton Art Fair is about at this point. We're looking to exhibit more around the city in Brooklyn. We're doing shows going forward in Harlem and other locations around the city. So we're looking for new members. If you're interested, check our website, FultonArtFair.net. Again, FultonArtFair.net, or you can find us on Facebook at Fulton Art Fair. Thank you very much.